I saw something in the news and I thought it had to be a joke. I know. Everything seems like a joke lately, but surely nobody would take this seriously. It was in the Telegraph and it said, boys can have periods too. Children to be taught in latest victory for transgender campaigners. I mean, this headline alone is enough to get upset about. Boys can have periods. Taught to children. Latest victory for transgender campaigners? Whoa. I mean, like, who is allowing this to be taught to their children in school? How are parents okay with this? How does a boy have a period? What the hell is a transgender campaigner? This is clearly indicating an agenda without even hiding it. They claim it as a victory. I was afraid to read further, but for you, I did. It says school children will be taught that all genders can have periods in new sex education lessons in a victory for transgender rights campaigners. The advice to teachers was approved by Brighton and Hove City Council as they try to tackle stigma around menstruation. The new advice follows a council report which said trans boys and men and non-binary people may have periods, adding that menstruation must be inclusive of all genders. Something so purely womanly is now inclusive of all genders and men. The same council also recently released a trans inclusion schools toolkit to help teachers treat gender identity sensitivity. The toolkit also recommends schools adopt a non-gendered uniform so all children feel included and to reduce bullying. You mean to make them homogenous and have no gender? This is just confusing and brainwashing. There is no need for this sort of thing. According to the Williams Institute, a public policy research institute based at the UCLA School of Law focused on sexual orientation and gender identities, only 0.6% of adults identify as transgender. That is less than 1%. So is there really a need for all of this? This should be taken case by case. If someone feels that they are transgender, that should be a private matter and handled individually. There is no need to push this concept on 99.4% of students. Also, adults is one thing, but children is another. Whatever happened to being a tomboy? They seem to not exist anymore. If you're a girl and a little bit into boyish stuff and are a little boyish, you are now struggling with gender identity. I don't think pushing something as serious as transgender on children and feeding them this type of idea is healthy at all. I feel like it is the LGBT's objective to push an agenda, and they even admit it. LifeSite News says a number of LGBT activists have highlighted in recent years that the movement's goal is to indoctrinate children into accepting the normalcy of the LGBT agenda. I'm here to tell you all that time I said I wasn't indoctrinating anyone with my beliefs about gay and lesbian and bi and trans and queer people. That was a lie, wrote Canadian gay activist Sassenbear Bergman, a woman who identifies as a transgender man, in a March 2015 piece titled, "I have come to indoctrinate your children into my LGBT agenda, and I'm not a bit sorry." Bergman holds nothing back, stating she wants to make children like us, even if that goes against the way you have interpreted the teachings of your religion. Interpreted. Interesting. In 2011, U.S. gay activist Daniel Villarreal penned a column for queerty.com stating that the time had come for the homosexual lobby to admit in indoctrinating school children to accept homosexuality. Lobby? We want educators to teach future generations of children to accept queer sexuality. In fact, our very future depends on it. Recruiting children? You bet we are. Homosexual activist Michael Swift wrote in 1987 in the Gay Community News that school children would become explicit targets for homosexual indoctrination. We shall seduce them in your schools. They will be recast in our image. They will come to crave and adore us. I mean, this is just sick. When I hung out with the LGBT community, it was about being queer and freaks, and I wanted to hang out with other outsiders. Now it seems that they openly want to normalize bizarre behavior and indoctrinate children, and this I cannot stand behind. Fly your freak flag all you want. I have no problem with what you do in your home, but to get children involved and to try to change the culture, that is crossing the line. But what can we do about this in a time where you will get treated as a bigot if you address this kind of issue? If you want to see more from me and the rest of the Rebel team, like and subscribe.